This is Russ. Yeah, I'm in the car again. Quiet, huh? Yeah, the heater's not on. The car's not even on. I'm sitting and parked in the park area as I've done in the past. Yeah, much quieter. Yeah, 19 degrees out there right now. Yeah, got a heat wave going on. Oh, I wanted to do a quick update, let you know that I had misspoken. I had said that my 2019 Hyundai Elantra was actually a 2018. No, it's actually 2019. It came out in 2019. I was taking a look at the records and finding out, when did I buy the car and all that. No, it is proper. 2019 year was the sale year for the 2019 car. Here's where I got it confused. The 2017 Hyundai Elantra that I purchased before this, well, it's actually leased, I should say, was actually done in 2016. So 2016 year had the 2017 model out already, but the 2019 year had it out in 2019. I just wanted to make that update, okay? Not that you really care, but hey, there you go. Anyway, yeah, I was just mistaken. Yeah, because Russ is never wrong. I told you guys that. I could be mistaken, but I mean, I've never really be wrong. Anyway, as I'm sitting here and I'm thinking back about my car purchases and leases and the like, we kind of figured the next car that we might end up getting would probably be another SUV, and it might be the last vehicle we ever purchase. Yep. I mean, we're at the age, by the time we actually need another car, neither one of us need another car right now. But by the time we do, it'll probably be the last one we ever get. So I kind of thought about it. I says, what kind of car would we get? Well, it'd have to be an SUV because obviously I would like to take my e-bikes around still. And so it has to have a hitch on there. So it'll be SUV. But, what kind? Do you go out with a bang and get a luxury SUV? Or do we just get out a basic SUV? I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out that when the time comes. But, as I mentioned before, I've had two Lexus ES300 vehicles in the past. And then I went to the Hyundai because at that time I didn't need anything fancy anymore. And so I said, let me get the cheapest thing I could possibly get that runs well and has a lot of features in it. That was really most important to me. And it had to fit my mobility scooter in the back of the trunk. That was very important. In fact, when I went to check these vehicles out, I brought the mobility scooter with me, and I checked it out by putting it in the trunk to make sure it would fit. Because if I couldn't bring it with me, I couldn't take the car. And fit, of course. So, interesting thing about the Hyundai is we purchased one of the original Hyundais that came into the United States way back when we were in San Diego. It was a Hyundai Sonata at the time. I think they had the Hyundai Excel and the Hyundai Sonatas back then. We bought the Sonata, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. I always liked it. We had over 100,000 miles on it. And before we, basically gave up the car and did something else. But over the years, we did different things. And then eventually, after the Lexuses and the like, we ended up going back to Hyundai. I said, I really kind of liked the Hyundai Sonata that we had. And the styling and everything and the features of the new Hyundais. I said, they're actually not bad for the money. So I says, I'm going to lease this anyway, so let me lease an inexpensive car, see how well it does. And so I liked the styling of the Elantra when it came out, the very first Elantra I had. I've had 3 Elantras now. So yeah, I've kind of stuck with the Hyundai because it's not a very expensive car and it does well. So I said, yeah, not bad. Would I get another Hyundai? I don't know. For our final vehicle, I don't know. Would we go back to Lexus? I don't know. It's really hard to say. I can see my windshield's already fogging up, just turning off the heater and just sitting here and talking. It's going to fog up a little bit. So I won't go too long today. I'll just talk a little bit and then probably have to get on my way. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys do. Do you guys lease cars? Have you ever leased a car? Or do you buy cars? And if you're older than I am and you're on your final car, how did you make that final decision? What kind of vehicle did you decide was the right thing to do for the final vehicle that you were going to purchase? I'm not at that point yet, but I'm just curious. Yeah, let me know. Put a comment. Okay. All right. One more thing I wanted to talk about. I was talking to my friend Stacy before coming here, and we were talking about school. Kind of weird how we get into certain topics. And I said that, you know, when the first time I went to college, I did okay. I would say my grade point average is probably around 3.2 to 3.3 out of 4, something like that. But the second time I went back to school to learn to be an evidence technician, I was 3.92 out of 4.0. So I was the top student in the class. And we've kind of wondered, how did that happen? How did you go from, an average B student to, the top student in the class? And I think it's because of the maturity level, because by the time I went back to school the second time, I was already late 20s, right? How old? I don't know how I was, maybe 27, 26, 27, 28, something like that. And so I said, this is my second time through, going through a different career path now. And so I felt I needed to be the top student in order to get a job. So I worked hard for it and actually finished and got those degrees. It's in pre-law and court management, as well as evidence technology. These are associate degrees, so they're not like double bachelor's or anything. The first one was a bachelor's in electronics engineering. So all I needed to do was get associate's degrees to get into the program. So typically an associate degree, it's a 2-year thing. You can go to a community college to actually do that, right? So, but you still have to take all the basic classes. I mean, you had to still take biology, chemistry, history, and, the general education stuff. I had a number of the classes already done because of the first time I went to a college, and then I just transferred everything there. But I still had to take biology and chemistry because if you're a electronics engineering student, why would you need chemistry or biology, right? But I always wondered about that too. Why would you need it for law enforcement? But I guess they wanted you rounded out in sciences and things like that. But yeah, I did well. I got A's in everything. Like I said, A's in every single class except for one. I had a B plus 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 by one question. Could have had a 4.0 out of 4.0. But the whole point is that I think it was the maturity level and then also the drive to want to be better than everyone else. Yeah, I said I got to be the top student, and I was. So anyway, this all came up because he told me that his son was going to a pre-freshman orientation class for high school. So that kind of got us into talking about schooling and the like, and how good were you in school? I mean, in high school, I was same thing. I was like a 3.3 out of 4.0. So, going to college and basically getting the same range of grades, it was no real big deal. I figured that's the best I'm going to get, right? But I think when you put a little bit of drive in it and the desire to do better, I always sat in the front of the class too, by the way. I always sat in the front seat of the class the second time through. Because I figured if you're sitting in the front, there's no way for you to goof off, all right? I mean, the teacher's right there. You can't mess up, right? And so that kept my interest in listening and doing what I needed to do. So today, when people ask me about schools and the like, I always tell them, I said, look, I'm going to give you a little hint, as you're going into school, sit in front. They never really wanted to do it. I says, because then you can't goof off. And it's going to force you to pay attention and you'll do better and take things seriously. Yes, that's usually my advice that I give to students. So let me know in the comments below what you ended up doing and whether you stayed in the field that you went to study for. That's the question of the day. Because I know a lot of times people go to college and the like, they study for a certain career path, but they don't actually end up there. Maybe they start out there, but then they change their minds and go into something else. Like for instance, for me, my whole intention originally was to either be a musician or a recording engineer, right? That's why I took all electronics background. I mentioned this before. And I didn't end up doing any of that. I ended up basically working in law enforcement and also in my dad's stereo store. I guess that's technically electronics. but it's a sales end of things, right? Because you're selling stereo equipment. But yeah, a lot of people don't end up in the field that they studied. Let me know, did you end up in the field that you studied for, and how did you think that went? I mean, would you have changed it to go to something else having done it? Or do you think you made the right decision and you stayed with that? Or did you change immediately? All right. Let me know how your career paths went. So I think this topic is always very interesting to me when I find out how other people have done things in their lives. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.